All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Last year, I showed you how I took a motorcycle rack and turned it into a single bike rack for my e-bikes. Well, this year, Young Electric has come out with a solo rack specifically for e-bikes that weigh up to 100 pounds. In this video, we're going to show you how to put it together. I'm going to test it on various other bikes. And in the very end, I'm going to bring it all the way up here to see how it handles. So let's get into it. It looks nicely packed. This is everything that comes in the box. It looks like it's going to be a simple installation. Guess we'll find out here in a second. The first step, you are going to mount this front tire bracket. You're going to put it right in here. You got these 4 small bolts right here, and you're going to use the number 16 socket wrench to screw it in. Now we're going to place this bracket into this cross member right here. For these bolts, you're going to put the bolt here through the front, and they come with a nut. The nut's already connected to it. So let's just get these holes lined up, push it through. Just going to lightly tighten, put that nut on there, and do the same thing to the second one, and then we're going to tighten them down. You have a couple of options for this. I'm using an 18 for the nut here in the back, and then I'm just going to use the 16 wrench to just keep it from moving. We're just going to tighten it up. Do the same on the other side. The next step is to attach the mounting bar, and this is what's going to hold the bike to the rack. It comes with this bolt, and this bolt has a 4 square pin area so that when you put it inside the bracket here, and this is going to keep your post from moving, and it locks in the back. They say take this and tighten it to 50 Newton meters of torque. I don't know about you, but I don't have a torque meter with me, so we're just going to have to play with this to see if we can get it at the right tightness. For this nut, you're going to need a 17. And we're just going to tighten it down to what we think 50 Newton meters of torque is. So we're going to test that by bringing it this way. There we go. I feel some resistance with that, but it also moves easily. So I think we're going to be good with that right there. From here, we're going to add the adjustable support assembly. We're just going to bring it down and tighten it up. The only thing that you should have left is this pin right here, which is what's going to connect it to your car. You have a cotter pin, you have a flat washer, and a lock washer. Let's get her connected to the car and see how many different bikes and what different types that we can use this rack for. Now, one of the nice things about this hitch is that it's only like 35 pounds, which is very easy to manage. We're going to go ahead and slide it into my receiver. Now, you need to have a 2-inch receiver. It's not going to work on anything smaller. So you make sure if you have a 2-inch receiver, just going to put it in there. You're going to line it up. Now, this bolt is threaded, and because of that, you're going to put it into here. Inside this rack is also threaded. So when you tighten it down, it's going to tighten it to your hitch, making it to where this thing will not wobble. The rack comes with this bolt, as I showed you before. You're going to put the lock washer on first. Then you're going to put the washer on, and now we are ready to screw it into there. Once we have it all the way screwed in, you're going to put your cotter pin in there to keep it from moving. But you can also buy like a little lock to kind of lock this to keep anybody from taking it. We don't have that. It doesn't come with it. So we're just going to use this cotter pin for now. You're going to put it in there. And then another thing you're going to need is a 24 millimeter socket. And what I do is I just keep the socket and the socket wrench together, and it just goes with it. Like this is part of it. And that way I never lose it or have to worry that I don't have it. Now that you have it tightened, go ahead and put your cotter pin right in there, and now it is secure. The Young Electric Soul Hitch bike rack is 67.5 inches wide and 35.8 inches tall, with a maximum wheelbase of 50 inches. The maximum weight capacity is 100 pounds. The inner support junction has 2 layers to make it stronger. The wall tubes are increased to 4.6 millimeters, making it more stable during transportation. This rack features a patented front tire cradle system that allows tires up to 5 inches in width. Currently, Young Electric's Soul bike rack sells for $249. $149. Let's take a look at how all of this works. This is adjustable. This goes up and down. Now you can hook this to the seat post or the overhead or your top bar on your bike. This is adjustable. It locks in. You slide it back and forth. This part right here unclamps, and this is where your front wheel is always going to go into. Now they say that this rack can hold a 100-pound bike. Well, lo and behold, I just happen to have a 100-pound bike with me. This is a dual motor, beast of a bike. So it has a motor on the front and on the back. The bike weighs 100 pounds. And you're just going to put it up here, and then you can slide this up and down and position it wherever you need to. We're going to spin it around because it has these ratchet straps. And you just slide that in. I think I got this backwards. There we go. And that's going to keep the bike from falling on you. You're just going to go ahead and hook the front. Now, I do have, another rack. And the thing about that rack is that, well, it has like separate pieces. And what I mean by that is it's not all contained or all connected to the rack like this is. Like there's no parts that come off of this besides obviously the bolt that connects it to the car. Okay? What you do is you pull this back to your tire, get that tucked in there, then you're going to clamp it down, then you're just going to run it through here as well. And this is super long to accommodate all different kind of bikes. So guess what? I happen to have all different kinds of bikes, so we're going to be trying this out with multiple bikes today to see how this actually works. We're on the strap. That is awfully long. And there we go. This bike's not going anywhere. Let's go ahead and see how some other bikes work with this. The next one we're going to put on is a step through. It's a utility bike. It's also a fat tire bike. So let's see how that works. So if you're curious on how a step over is going to work, now this is a utility bike by Mach Wheel. It has multiple baskets on the back, as you guys can see. I'm going to put it up here. There's no spot to put it here, but this will move. So now we can just slide it sideways and hook it to the seat post. And she's good to go. Let's go ahead and tighten down the other two things. Look at that. I like that. Now there are some features that this thing will not do. Like because I have this open, it won't tilt back so you can open up your tailgate. From here, we're going to run over to my storage facility where I have my other bikes, and we're going to try some different size bikes on here, like some smaller tire ones and a cargo bike. Since I didn't have a bike on this rack, for this bar that comes up, I ended up using its own ratchet to put it around the foot area. I don't know if it's supposed to be used that way, but that's what actually works out for me. We are here at my secret location. This is where I keep all my bikes. Look, we only have a 2-car garage. It is Chicago. I don't have room for, a shed in the backyard. So I keep all of my bikes in an area pretty close to the house. And I'm going to show you these different bikes that are on here. This one, small tires. We're not going to like zip tie or we're not going to ratchet down the tires. We're just going to get them on there so you can see how it would work. But I do want to show you how it's connected down here in the front. Ooh, I got the ratchet on wrong. Okay, so here's what you got to make sure you do right. This has to be facing that way when you stick it in. I've done this wrong before. And if you do that, any vibration will make it come undone. Now, it's not going to go anywhere. So just make sure that the hole is facing you, or facing where the ratchet strap goes in. But as you can see, it's not going to go anywhere. So when you ratchet it down, it's going to be fine. We have a really big bike here. This is my Velotrek Packer 1. It is a big, long bike. And let's see if this thing's going to fit on here, because I don't even know. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. Can't see. Oh, we're on there. We are on there. Let me just go ahead and secure this. Oh, let's see. I don't think this is going to go back far enough. Yes, nice. This will actually hold your cargo bike if you have one. And I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. Oh, yeah. Nice. One of the things that I like about this rack, is that I can basically put any kind of bike on this and it's going to be secure. It's really going to be on there. I mean, and this rack is only $249. There, you can even get a ramp for like $79 that goes off the back. So if you didn't want to like do how I did by putting the bikes on, you could purchase that rack and just roll it up onto the rack. They also have a dual bike version of this. It's called the Mate, and it sells for only $359. For the last part of this review, I actually wanted to put it to the test. I'm up here at my cabin. It's about an 80-mile trip from Chicago on where I live. I brought my heaviest bike, which weighs 100 pounds, which is the max of what this rack can handle, and it did perfectly fine during the entire trip. Like I mentioned, once again, I would put something on here to secure the bike to the frame, just in case you ended up stopping someplace, but I knew I wasn't going to take a stop. But I do have a cable that I would wrap around here and put around the bike to keep the bike secure, since there's not any kind of security system with this rack. If you are interested in the Young Electric Soul Rack, which is an individual rack, or their dual rack, well, go ahead, click on my link down below. You'll learn more about those products and you'll see whatever the latest specials that they have going on. I want to thank you for watching, and until I see you again, enjoy the ride.